Israel?
Yeah. Well, what's this? Let's talk. Let's talk about this. Israel Minister of Intelligence, Yuval Stanitz, will tell the U.S., Russia, and other world powers that Israel will not tolerate Iranian forces near its border. The Jerusalem Times has reported on Tuesday. The Israeli minister made remarks as Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took his address to the United Nations on Thursday. He said, in all of our discussions, first and foremost with the U.S., but also with Russia and the rest of the world powers, we must make sure that Iranian forces will stay in Iran. Now, it goes on to say, nobody wants to see Russian forces in the area of the Golan Heights, but we definitely don't want to see Iranian forces near Israel. Israel captured the Golan Heights from Syria during the Six-Day War in June 1967. The territory was officially annexed in 1981. Israel fired on Syrian forces in the Quneitra region over the weekend when errant mortar fire landed in the captured territory. Defense Minister Moshe Yaalon said on Monday Syria had crossed a red line in its battle with proxy forces attempting to overthrow the government of Bashar al-Assad. So, I just want to put this into perspective here. Before Russia launched its first strike in Syria a couple of days ago, they didn't tell the U.S. until an hour before they launched it. Yes. They just said it. They didn't ask for permission. They didn't talk to them. They didn't say if it's okay. There was no respect, right? We got that. They just barged in an hour before and said, get your planes out of the sky so you won't get shot by accident, basically. However, Russia did something very peculiar. They invited Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, to Russia recently. You remember that? Minister of Israel, Prime Minister of Israel, Netanyahu flew, met with Vladimir Putin privately, spoke, shook hands, took some photo ops, looked pretty decent. Flew back, and then he got prepared for his United Nations General Assembly address. That was days ahead of schedule, days in advance before the Syrian strikes. The reason why they met is because Russia was literally telling Israel, listen, we want to tell you what we're planning to do. But we're telling you what we're planning to do.
90 seconds.
I apologize for that. That's Blog Talk Countdown. Russia said, we want to tell you what we're planning to do so you won't be alarmed. Because Russia knew Obama wasn't going to do anything. And if they did, Russia already has nuclear weapons arriving via submarine in the Pacific region. Russia's not concerned with the U.S.
Wow.
Russia had more respect for Israel. Now, I'm not saying Russia is for Israel in every way because they want to see a two-state solution too. But Vladimir Putin respected Israel so much because they knew if we don't tell Israel, they're gonna fight. They would, and thanked them. So this preparing ground invasion of Syria, was already talked about with Russia. Israel because when Russia told Israel, we're going to do this in Syria, don't be alarmed because we know what happened with the Golan Heights and how you in Syria and even with Iran. But just to let you know, when you see us here, we're not going to you're not involved in all this yet. I say yet, okay? However, they appreciated it. But Israel did the same thing. They said, okay, we appreciate you telling us this, but now we're going to tell you this. For our precaution, because we're not going to shake a hand with the serpent and still not be prepared. Yeah. We're going to line up some tanks on the border just in case Syria does something by accident.
You don't do that. I mean, the U.S. is doing that. We're going to, it's just, it's turned, here. Vladimir has lost total respect from our president and U.S. itself and all the administrators here, the administration.
Yeah.
And and then he goes to Netanyahu and tells him, I'm going to do this. He gives him more time than what he gave Obama or the Pentagon.
Oh, he gave straight respect.
He gave straight. That's what it was. Straight respect. It could have been, a minute, whatever, but it was just respect out of, Netanyahu, his people there, and just the country there that he told them.
The way Russia told Israel, primed it, invited him, private talks, private meetings, half photo ops on purpose, and literally had a genuine respect, publicly and in private. is really the way it should have been with Russia and the U.S.
Should have been.
But it's not there.
But it's not there.
Because they have absolutely no respect for us.
Eh?
Not only that, they're ready to fight us if they need to. We have reports that Russia has Navy ships, submarines, carrying nuclear weapons, along with China that's just arrived to Syria this week.
This is pretty heavy. This is pretty heavy because we're talking about nuclear weapons. We're talking about that movie that we've been mentioning, right? The Day After. I mean, we're talking about big time tensions here. More than it's not even tensions. It's just we know what's going on. You know, it's just the last days, and we're seeing these signs. This is not a drill.
Come on.
You know, people it's got to see this as reality. Like we were saying, don't go about doing your little party and trying to do your last sin before something bad happens and you want to repent at the last minute. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord's watching you. The Lord knows where your heart is. You know, He knows your heart. So, but all this thing here, it's not a drill. It's a reality. Just like in the movie, it's just a drill, or it's not. It's a real thing. And they get into their mode, their tactic modes, and then they start bombing each other.
What's the name of that movie again?
I believe it's The Moment.
No, The Day After.
Oh, The Day After, not The Moment.
So that was a movie. When was it done? Around what time frame?
The 80s, 83, I believe.
Check it out, my friends. We actually put a clip out on one of our live stream broadcasts months ago, but they have the full movie. It's an 80s movie on YouTube. And I think we're going to watch it this weekend to kind of get a refresher, because they showcase a nuclear attack on America from Russia.
But to hear this,
yes.
To hear this and then not seeing something from the U.S. to
respond.
Well, this is what we're doing. I mean, they could do that so they could tell them that we're here too. We're right next to you, so watch it. You better not do anything because we're here and we'll take you out. It's not even like that.
They're not. Well, they put out press conferences within the past 48 hours. You had Josh Earnest, Obama, some military senior officials coming out on press conferences and other talks publicly, and literally saying Russia's not going to win, Russia's showing their weakness, and Russia's showing no signs of professionalism. They're talking stupid.
No, this is not weakness from the Russians. This is something that they're preparing, and it's like the U.S. is just backing down, like, not even like that, just sitting down and not doing anything. It's not like Russia's going like, I'm gonna hit you, and you're going like, no,
they're just open.
Just like, okay.